Hi there, and today we are going to learn about how to edit the footer in Wix Studio. So here I am in my Wix Studio website dashboard. So let's go to the website editor. We just need to click on edit site and it will automatically open in a new tab. I already have the tab open right here. And then here is my website editor. So let's scroll down and find our footer. So here is our footer. If you want to edit it, we can just click on it and click on the inspector tool. And then from here, we can do a lot of things. We can change the background. We can add a background overlay. For example, if I apply a pattern overlay, it will look like that. We can also add different things. So for example, for the background, we can add an image. We can go ahead and upload our own image, or we can just use a free image right here from Wix. So for example, if I add like a solid background, and then for example, this blue background right here, and then it will be applied to this footer right here. We can also remove it, and then we can also just change the background color. For example, like that. Or we can have a gradient background. So let's choose a different color, for example red, and then as you can see it will have this red to white gradient. We can also change the direction of the gradient, as you can see right here. We can also change from a linear gradient to a radial gradient. We can do that as well. We can also have a conic gradient. It will look like that. Then we can also have a fluid gradient where we can join different colors. For example, I'll change this to black or maybe white. Then for this one, I'll change this green one into this dark green, and then I'll adjust. And then for this red one, I can change it to a different color, for example blue. Oops, sorry. You need to add the theme color, then click on apply, and there we have the blue. And then you can just go around and play around with the different settings right here. So I'll just choose this solid color, and then we can go ahead and change the layout, add some columns and rows since we are using a cell right here. And then we can adjust the position. So for the position, we only have a sticky position, but that will result in the footer to be appearing in front. But this isn't really a good design, so we can just turn it back to the default option. And then you can also adjust and then change the cursor right here if you want. And then if you want to change the whole footer entirely, we can go right here to global sections. And then for example, we want to add this footer right here. So it looks like this. We can just click on add to page. And then we have this footer, and then now we can remove this footer right here so that we now change our footer into this white footer right here. If you want to make this the footer of all of your pages, you can go to global sections and then change this to the default footer. So it will look like this. But if you want to add a custom footer, you can click on add section, click on design section, go to navigation, select footers, and then for example, I want to select this footer right here. And then if you want it to be a global footer, we need to remove this footer first. this footer white, and then we can now select this footer, and then let's right click again and go down, set as global footer, and then we will see this new footer right here. And then we can set this as the default footer so that this will be the footer of all of our pages. And then that is it. You just need to play around with the different settings of the footer so that you can edit it. And that is it for this video, and thank you for watching.